right, we're gonna go over patch notes real quick. If I upload this to YouTube, welcome everyone. All right. Previously visible. All right, so there was some new PTR patch notes. We'll go ahead and review them real quick. I don't think it's anything of note. Apparently there are a couple of them. Diva mech health bar is now displayed in an observer interface. That's actually good because I know there's like a lot of issues with it going. Misha health bar, they have to make it so you can see Diva talents. Because when you're in the Diva mech, you can't see the talents. Lost Vikings health bar is now observed. XP globes are now displayed as blue for the left team and gray for the red team. I guess that's good. Change color for Locust Strain. I don't know why they would change all the colors. Gauntlet icon changed to non-hero damage from basic attacks. Alright, Cassian Martial Law icon. Why are they changing all the icons? Are they going to like upload this to Steam and this is supposed to be easier? Because that's what I'm wondering. With all due respect. Yeah. Like, are they uploading this to Steam? Like, what's with all the icon changes all of a sudden? How many WTF does this even mean? Yeah. Change icon for elongated tongue on Dahaka. And then we have change icon. Like, why are they changing all the icons? Like, what's the reason for this? This is something that they're putting effort into. Not tongue. Tongue-oog? Did they misspell tongue? Helpful blind? Yeah. Someone had too much time. Like, there's got to be a reason behind this. Change icon for perfect storm? Like, is this like a colorblind mode sort of thing? Sure, this is effort. A lot of icon changes. Like, the only thing I could think of is they're doing this because they're going to be putting the game on Steam. Copium, I understand that. I get that. But why? Colorblind? I don't think it is either. Like, I'm trying to think of logical reasons they would do that. Just, you know, Sylvanas, icon change to increase for basic attacks. In a vulnerable section questionable, no longer hits invulnerable. This Odyssey's an April Fool's joke? It could be. So each icon for five each? Trying to match Dragonflight icons? Maybe. Manticore icon changed to searing damage from basic attacks. So wait, they're changing the names too? So they're changing Manticore to searing damage. Is that like the name? Nothing should hit invulnerable anyway. Alright, so these are just aesthetic changes, icon changes. So a lot of icon changes, which is interesting. We'll have to wait and see exactly why they're doing icon changes. Feel the heat icon change to damage increase from basic attacks. Like, are they changing the name? Or they're just getting rid of the thing? Become searing? I guess, oh. So all percent damage is becoming searing. So they're renaming the terminology. So kind of like how they added, like lone talents and then renamed it Gambit. They're renaming percent damage to searing. Interesting. So they're renaming percent damage to searing. Is there anything else that's like that? Like, is there any other particular things that are being renamed like that? Ice blocks being changed, improve ice block button to be normal ice block. See, I didn't think it was not normal. Fiery icon changes searing damage. Okay, interesting. Are they changing icons that are shared? I assume so. But red sword icon? Has anyone checked out the PTR, or is it able to be? Does no damage? Alright, so... And then feel the heat icon change to damage increase from basic attacks? Interesting. I'm interested to see why they're doing this. Abilities that bounce will require all targets to be visible. So that's like Cassia and stuff. This is actually a pretty big change. Because how many times has Cassia Ball bounced when they were out of vision and gotten the kill? So does that mean that the ball on Cassia will no longer bounce? She has to stay in melee range? If this is actually working the way I think it is, this is a big nerf to Cassia. Like, Cassia Ball is like worthless now. Like, you can only use it in the team fight. You can't throw it off while they're running away. Maiev buff? Vala 2 with Q? Exactly, yeah. Does it reveal the target? Okay, if it reveals the target, that's fine. But there's yeah, the Q on Vala is a good one. If they have to be revealed, That's a massive nerf for Q build Vala. Um, all abilities reveal when hit, but not the target that they bounce to though. In theory, at least. So like the initial Q would hit and would reveal the Vala target or the Cassio target, but in theory at least, if there's no other targets around, it might not bounce to him. Maybe should hit and bounce. It'll be seen. Like there's a reason they're doing this. Like what other targets would like there's the spread Q on Cassia level 1, which is interesting. Not sure it's a nerf. I mean, we'll have to see. Abilities that cleave will reveal the area that does not require the target to be visible. Abilities that cleave will reveal the area and does not require the target to be visible. So cleave like Maiev is what you're saying. Is a Maiev buff. So it's a Maiev buff, which isn't. I mean, that's a good. I don't think Maiev needs a buff. Top at 20 Tyrande. Oh yeah, like the Lunar Flare level 20. Stuff like her W. Abilities that splash will reveal the area and does not require the target to be visible. So splash, like Sergeant Hammer splashes. There's a lot of other ones I know as well. Huge for Garrosh Cleave. Buff for Brightwing 20. What 20 on Brightwing? Like Emerald Wind? And then there's some invulnerability changes. Blessed Shield no longer hits invulnerable targets. I thought it didn't hit invulnerable targets anyway, so I guess it just can't target him. Gravity Lapse no longer hits invulnerable targets. I didn't think it did to begin with. Magic Missiles no longer hits invulnerable enemies. Okay, Toads no longer hits invulnerable. I mean, this is good. It was bugged. To please that'll become maybe. I mean, I'm looking at why are they doing this now? And again, copium, understand that. But this could be these are changes that would benefit if the game's going to go on Steam, which is yeah, they pass through, yeah, like the wells. I guess they're just matching the functionality of the wells. She can stop a Cassia Ball or Volicue. Okay. ARAM changes increased experience given by globes. I don't play ARAM, but I mean, this is probably to speed up ARAM. So if you think about it, one of the biggest complaints I have with ARAM is how long it takes. So this will actually speed up ARAM, I guess, because you'll get the experience faster. Could already stop Cassia Balls. It's not new. Floating combat text from killing blows now is a gold color. That's good. Balance updates. Adjust difficulty level for a number of heroes. So that's just going to be how it displays. Samuro. They actually buffed a character. Samuro gets a buff. Vav, are you here? Other Samuro players? Increase Windwalk healing from 1% per second to 3% per second, which is obviously a buff to the E build. Cassia Balls. Decrease Way of the Wind healing from 5 to 4 on cast. I don't believe it did. It's interesting. And then bug fixes. Fixed an issue that caused evading targets to lose armor. Wait, that was a bug? Because shouldn't they lose armor if they're evading? Because area maps use different XP systems. Cause Abathur Monstrosity to gain. I mean, the bug fixes aren't super bad. No longer reveals attacking attackers while arming. I mean, that's good. No longer reveals attackers while arming. I mean, so if you attack the nest, it would reveal them. That's actually pretty huge if it used to do that before. Moral Compass is now considered splash damage and will not hit targets immune to AoE. I mean, the Moral Compass was bad anyway. Why would they... I guess it's just a functionality change. Because, yeah, Samuro buff is Windwalker, increase healing, and decrease of these. So this is the Samuro. But it's actually a balance update. I don't know how substantial it is. You'll have to tell me how substantial it is. I mean, it's good. It's a buff, and this is a nerf. But, I mean, 3% per second's pretty good. Like, a 3% per second healing is pretty strong with those results, because I'm pretty sure it doesn't do that. What are we getting back the results of on whether or not the Brightwing can stop Cassia Ball? They need to stop Li-Ming Blink from stopping Volicues. Can't you blink out of Pyroblast too? Well, the blink I think is a teleport, whereas the tracers is a blink. So they're slightly different functionality, even though they really shouldn't be. But one temporarily takes you off the map, and tracers I think it doesn't, which is dumb. If he picks it into certain heroes, that makes sense. Combustion now, so they're going to do a lot more with revealing areas and not revealing areas. So like combustion now reveals an area it affects. This is going to be massive. It seems like these changes are geared towards revealing certain things and not revealing other things. So it's all about vision, it seems like. Fixing issue that caused to not, these are just hotfix is now reveals target hit. So like now this reveals targets when they're hit. So they're giving more vision to some of these. Invisible Friends now displays a heal over time preview. I like that. Phase shift heal now happens after teleportation instead of at the same time. Oh, this is a nerf. Phase shift heal now happens after teleportation. So that means that it's going to be, I mean, it's not the biggest deal, but how many times have you barely saved someone or barely not saved someone? So phase shift heal now happens after teleportation. I mean, that's a nerf. Now reveals the area effects. When I tell, yeah, same. It did happen, but apparently it's going to happen even more after. Because it's supposed to happen at the same time, which is what I figured. But because of how the coding works, one has to happen before the other. They can't actually physically happen at the same time. So they're like a pixel apart. But apparently it has to like finish the animation first now. Which means that this is going to be a nerf to Brightwing. Yeah. Now it's in writing, so you can't. Yeah, Fog of War from StarCraft engine can need to be a problem. Oh, really? Yeah. Teleport faster, pretty much. Butcher AoE no longer reveals targets hit. Wait, what? Isn't that his? Oh, Cleaver's a talent. I was like his like W doesn't reveal anymore. Fix an issue that caused Butcher to lose more intended stacks of fresh meat when killed. So he doesn't. So Butcher's gonna be OP now. Now reveals targets hit. I mean, that's good. No longer reveal when Sergeant or when Slaughter damages an enemy. So you can't just lam people out of vision. This actually could be pretty good. This means that you can't blindly throw out lam if you think they're over there and then charge to them after you reveal them. This is actually pretty good. Not that Butcher needs a nerf at all, but I mean, that's a nerf to Butcher. Yeah, these are HOTS updates. No longer revealed when lamb. Oh, Butcher is no longer revealed. I see what you're saying. Gotcha. Butcher is no longer revealed. I mean, okay, so that's a buff to Butcher. Yeah, it's a lot of bug fixes and stuff. I'll catch you up. They're doing a lot of icon changes. I'm going to be uploading this to YouTube as well, so anyone who wants to rewatch it, check it out. A lot of icon changes, some invulnerability changes, which is interesting, which is probably procs with things that involve, things proccing, and then an actual Samuro buff. But yeah, so Cassia Fen now reveals targets hit, which is interesting. Fix an issue caused lightning fury bolt stacks from static electricity. Fix an issue that caused lightning bolt. Not heal for appropriate amount with Ring of Leech. Fix an issue where lightning fairy bolts are not displayed as critical hits against blinded enemies. I mean, it's all just hotfix changes. Martial law no longer damages heroes while blinded. See, that's going to be a nerf. Yeah. Can you repeat what you said? Icons? After being ignored? Yeah. Yeah, no, they've been going crazy for fixing bugs. I realize since I'm going to upload this to a YouTube video, I should probably not go back. Surge of Light now reveals the area to effects and enemies that it hits. I mean, when they say reveal, is this like a X amount of second reveal? Because all it says is reveal. Is it like the Tracer level 1 reveal where it's like they're revealed for like 3 seconds or something? So I wasn't sure if there's actually a thing. 8% at 16? You mean searing? Searing Thormono at 16? Oh, my voice just cracked. Alright, Consuming Blaze now reveals. This is a lot of changes, you're right. This is a lot of changes. That's martial law? Oh, gotcha. The percent damage. Searing. So that means that no longer damages heroes while blinded. Huh. Oh, so if the Cassia's blinded, then it no longer. Okay, that's good. I mean, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, when Cassia's blinded, that makes sense. Dread Orb no longer has an abnormal vision height. Will now interrupt channels that are interrupted by damage when applied, which it should be. Now reveals targets hit. Again, a lot of abilities revealing targets. A lot of these changes are about vision. Fix an issue that caused Cthulhu's gift to slow while blinded. No longer deals damage. Feel for Flame no longer damages target of basic attacks. Feel for the Flame no longer displayed as a critical hit against heroes. Runic Blast now reveals target hit. Another reveal. No longer has an abnormal vision height. What's with the Cho'Gall vision heights? Oh, yeah, I guess we should update the command. Yeah, Twisting Nether now reveals target. Shadow Flame now reveals target. So a lot of changes. Okay, here's some Chromie changes. I mean, these are a lot of these vision changes are pretty big. Like this is going to be pretty massive, and it makes sense. Again, conspiracy, all you want. Why now? Like, why now? We could discuss that. Why are they doing this now? Fix an issue that caused Sandblast's basic attacks to grant stacks while blinded. Shifting sands will no longer be removed upon death. Interesting. Time trap will no longer prevent allies from being revealed temporarily. So if I accidentally time trap my allies, they won't be revealed. I mean, that's probably good. Come in and they want to reveal next HOTS expansion. I guess maybe. Who knows? Because they finished D4. Let's see. Time Trouble armor granted to allies who will no longer be removed by stasis. Unraveling armor debuff will now be removed by stasis. Simply had time this week? Maybe. Changes don't seem like anyone cared too much. A lot of these changes are pretty big, though. Like, a lot of these changes are bigger than what people think. Death Drop armor reduction is now removed by stasis, which is fine. Gaze on Destruction no longer reduces damage hit. Deckard fixed an issue where Heraldric Staff does not consume the cooldown when used on evading targets. I mean, if it doesn't, I guess that makes sense. This is the stun, I'm assuming, is what they're talking about on 16. Fix an issue where Potion Shielding increased Deckard's self-healing. I mean, it's still self-healing, though. Fix an issue where Scroll Listing reveals target 4 seconds when taken. I mean, yeah. Yeah, hey, I like it. Keeping the spiders out. Burrow no longer prevents allied abilities from affecting Dahaka. These are a lot of changes. Burrow no longer prevents allied abilities from affecting Dahaka. That's good. I guess if he's burrowed, it shouldn't. Will now cleanse negative effects. I thought it did that before anyway, but I guess that's good. Lurker Strain no longer reveals area around knockback targets. Now reveals targets hit. Keeping the spiders out of HOTS, yeah. Will no longer function as a stun. I mean, this is good just for abilities that will combo off the stun. So, like, abilities that are like, oh, if your target's stunned, you take more damage. So this is going to be good. So I guess it must be considered a knock-up then? Or a knockback. Dying Breath now displayed as Apocalypse on the death recap. So this is Dying Breath. Interesting. Fix an issue that caused Black Soulstone to be multiplicative with other death bonuses. Defense Matrix now works on Zagara Banelings, so they didn't before. Boomerang armor reduction is now removed by stasis. I mean, it should have been to begin with, so that's good. Hammering now reveals targets hit on return. Explosion no longer displayed as a crit after selecting Boomerang. Hammer reaction explosion now reveals target hit. Alright, just a lot more reveals. Phoenix fixed an issue to be refreshed while blinded. Now consumes block charges. I mean, that all makes sense. Decimate now reveals target hit. So that's good. I mean, I would assume it would have revealed them anyway. Into the Fray now shows up on Gash's try screen, so I guess you can practice it. Wrecking Ball and Into the Fray now reveal targets hit. So this is just a random buff that they didn't include in the thing. Adjusted arc reactor damage to 36. So this isn't a hotfix. This is just a change. Interesting. To now have cooldown announced to your team. That's good. I need to be able to announce to watch out for Mosh on ETC. Mech-Lord no longer grants armor while blinded. Fix an issue where Deflect does not grant full self-healing score when preventing damage. Fix an issue that causes Alpha Killer to be capable of activating on-hit effects on invulnerable enemies. The breast size changes. Fix an issue cause Go for the Throat to apply the incorrect cooldown to disengage with the Running Wild. Remove dual block visual from Thick Skin. Fix self-healing bonus from Hunger for Power. Well, hopefully that's not a nerf. I guess we'll see what that is. Arc Reactor. Arc Reactor is... I don't play Gazlo. I think that's one of his talents. Let's see. I guess a Gazlo player will have to chime in there. Allow him players to fire Stonebolt at maximum range without charging. So just more bug fixes. Fix an issue that caused Frostbolt to hit targets behind Frostbolt. This is actually a bug that's been out for a while. You're only supposed to be able to pierce 2 targets, but now you could pierce more to allow more than 2 additional targets. Yeah, exactly this right here. This is actually a pretty big nerf to Jaina because it allowed you to hit people through the minion wave. So these are pretty big changes. Jaina now has a block visual. That's good. Blessed Hammer now reveals the area it affects. Fix an issue where Blessed Momentum stacks multiplicatively instead of additively. I guess that's good. Heavenly Fury no longer prevents allies from being revealed. This is actually pretty big. This is your little spinny hammer at 13, which a lot of times you would be able to... I mean, you can still get the kills, but getting the reveal is good. Scazzo's level 16. Okay, that makes sense. Fix an issue that caused Frag Launcher to gain 0.002 damage per stack. Splash damage now consume block charges. I mean, that makes sense. Kel'Thuzad Death Chill will no longer activate if the target loses root or slow. Fix an issue causing basic attacks against rooted heroes to activate Icy Grasp. Fix an issue that caused basic attacks against rooted target to activate Hunger and Cold. Fix an issue that caused Kel'Thuzad buttons to light up when getting 15 baseline quest stacks. That's because that's your halfway point when you get spikes. So I get why they'd fix that. So yeah, like this is a change where it's like if you're a seasoned player, this doesn't matter. You know you don't get that stuff. So this is like, why change it? Fix an issue that caused power increase to be lost upon death. Alright, here's some Kerrigan changes. Some of you got a couple Kerrigan players in here. Fix an issue that caused Kerrigan self-healing to increase when she gains her shield. Fury of the Swarm no longer reveals targets. That must be a pretty big change. Impaling Blade now reveals targets hit. Primal Grasp Pulse now reveals targets hit. Psionic Shift now reveals targets hit, so a lot of revealing. Ultralisk Splash Damage reveals targets. That's pretty good. So a lot of these just more vision-based fixes. Fix an issue that caused Insight to progress while blinded. Buried Alive can no longer have its duration reduced. So that would mean... I don't know how you would reduce the duration of it, but I guess that's good. Draining it no longer increases his self-healing score. Deckard's Rejuvenation is now removed on Undying. Okay. Fix an issue where Leoric could receive Tyranda's Shadowstalk healing when Undying was active, thereby reducing his respawn timer. I didn't know that. So when Leoric was dead, he could get healed. Renew can no longer be cast while Undying is active. Oh, this was massive. You used to be able to... So this is the level 1 activatable. I used to use this... I use this on the Arc to sometimes help myself spawn faster. I guess that was a bug. Or they decided they didn't want that. Drain Hope, Drain Essence, March of Back Kings are now removed if the target enters a vehicle. I can't imagine marching into a vehicle. Fix an issue that caused Tal Rasha's elements to prevent Force Armor from granting block charges. Fix an issue where Aetherwalker would sometimes not reset correctly. Metadrone no longer heals heroes in Undying state. Alright, Nora, are you here? Here's some Lunara changes. Fix an issue that caused Invigorating Spores to be capable of activating on-hit effects on invulnerable enemies. So basically, if the enemy is invulnerable, you're not going to get any of the benefits. Fix an issue causing Invigorating Spores to deal percent damage while blinded. So I guess it just, if you're blinded, your stuff don't work. Fix an issue causing nature toxins to be applied before damage dealt. Oh, I mean, this has got to be good. This one's good right here. All right. Oh, here's a Maiev change. Fix an issue that caused basic attacks while blinded to increase vengeful knife damage, and fix an issue causing Umbral blind to not increase vengeful knife damage. I mean, that's good. All right. Winged Guard now has a block visual. I mean, they're adding block visuals to some of them, which is good, because I know that there were some that there wasn't really a visual. Like Murden really didn't have one. Looks like blinding people just buffed. Yeah, exactly. It seems like it. May fix an issue causing cooling servos to slow when blinded. Fix an issue causing May's induct hibernation talent to reduce damage to non-hero. Skating away now has a block visual. Like I like these. Cassio OP now. I want to see what these new block visuals are. Here's some murky changes. Fix an issue that caused Big Tuna Kahuna to be multiplicative with other health bonuses. That's probably good. Octograb now reveals the target instead of the area around the target. So this is good because, I mean, not that it necessarily matters, but I know that a lot of times people will Octo and then they'll, like, you know, have things that target around it. So I guess it reveals, you don't know, like if you're an Illidan and you hunt onto the, like, Octo target or something, you don't know who's around the target. So this one makes sense. It's a buff to the enemies of the Murky. Pufferfish now reveals targets hit. I like that. I got to figure out, I know that we talked about that this is probably already established, but I want to know how long all of these reveal when hits last. If this is like 3 seconds, 1 second, slime now reveals. While revealed, Mercury will no longer reveal around him when his egg is slain. While revealed, so this is actually good. So Murky, you know, would reveal around his person, around his fishiness. But now, it won't. I don't know, with that, yeah. Yeah, I don't know what it is either. Nova, anti-armor shell is now removed by stasis. Now applies debuff after damage. Explosive snipe now reveals targets hit. Fixed an issue that caused anti-armor shells to display incorrect damage. Hollow decoy no longer reveals areas when killed. Now visible from the center of the unit instead of the border. That's a big Nova nerf. Precision strike now reveals areas hit. I like that. Snipe no longer reveals around target. Triple tap no longer reveals around the target, and the target is now revealed for 2 seconds afterward, up from 1.3. So this is so a lot of these reveals are just going to the particular unit themselves and not the area around. So you're not going to be able to see what teammates are around them if you want to keep chasing. Minus 50% damage on AA. Okay, I didn't realize that was. I knew that this was an actual like buff. So there's actually some character buffs in here that aren't included with the Samara. Like this is just a straight up buff. So do double damage. Armor Dex never applied the Nova. Orphea fixing issue causing dead magic to splash to evading targets. I mean that's good. Empowered Eldritch Conduit to be lost on death. To not be granted when going from 7 to 8 stacks to 10. Fix an issue causing an eternal feast to hit dead objects. Interesting. So I guess it would reset then. Probius. Fix an issue causing pylon overcharge to deal additional damage when construct additional pylons are selected. Okay. Kira. Basic attacks will no longer reveal targets hit. I mean, that's good. Blood Rage activation no longer grants fatal wound progress. That seems bad. Fix an issue that causes finishing touch to grant attack speed on attacks, bringing the target below 50% health. Fix an issue that caused finishing touch to grant attack speed while blinded. Fix an issue that caused upstage to not apply if the targets were killed by activation damage. Fix an issue that caused your pain, my gain, to grant armor while blinded. Ragnaros, cauterizing wounds now displays on death recap correctly. Fix an issue that caused empowered sulfurous to not reduce cooldown. Tempered flame no longer increase self-healing. Oh, here's the big lava wave change. Lava wave can no longer pick up or magnetize experience globes. This is a massive lava wave nerf. Got a lot of indirect battle buffs. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. The lava wave change on Rag is probably the biggest one. Pick up globes or not? Probably. It doesn't say it doesn't, but that doesn't mean they won't change it later though. So yeah, I think that it still will, but we'll see if that changes because this is still PTR. Things will likely still change before this goes live. It just gives that, yeah, it doesn't pick up globes. It just gives the XP. But I thought Lava Wave worked the same way. I didn't think it picked up globes. I think it only worked on the ones it killed. Fixed an issue causing executive orders not to display on the death recap, causing Pepper to behave incorrectly. Fixed duration of totemic progression or projection. Fix an issue that caused hunger of the wolf to deal damage and heal while blinded. Fix an issue that caused kill command's damage bonus to be multiplicative. Fix an issue that caused Misha to not gain Primal Instincts passive on respawn. Fix an issue where Unleash the Boars was not affected by some damage modifications. Burning Blade is now splash damage. Alright, so here's some row changes again. Burning Blade is now splash damage. Way of the Wind now increases self-healing instead of healing. So this will not... So this is, I guess, a slight difference in just how it records. Because it's self-healing and not healing. So I guess... Some healing boosts might not affect it if it only increased healing. I guess they must be splitting the terminology. What's up, Alpharak? Hype Train Conductor. Fix an issue that caused reactive bell sports to not work correctly with cooldown resets. This, depending on how, I mean, they don't really state what was wrong. But this could be massive. Oh my god, more Sylvanas changes. Chris EU, have the initial heal. Gotcha. Deafening Blast now applies black arrows if active. Deafening Blast now reveals targets hit. With a wall, yeah. Spell damage on Sprout, now it's splash damage. So I guess Spell Armor no longer, yeah, that does make sense. Fix an issue that caused Evasive Fire to be refreshed while blinded. Fix an issue that caused Lost Soul to reduce cooldown while blinded. They're just gutting Sylvanas. Fix an issue that caused Overwhelming Affliction to apply the slow to a remorseless target when firing at a target with 3 stacks. Fix an issue that caused Possession to give more XP than intended for catapults. Okay, I got it. That makes sense, because you can mind control catapults. Gain your power from much people play HOTS for a while, but now you're back. Hey, well, welcome back. Fix an issue that caused Remorseless not to apply black arrows while blinded. Fix an issue causing Remorseless not to stun enemies while black arrows is active. I mean, Sylvanas players will have to tell me how actual, impactful this is. Fix an issue causing Remorseless to not stun mercenaries with 3 stacks of Black Arrow, Mercenary Queen. Might of Banshee Queen is no longer removed on death. Wailing Arrow no longer reveals around Sylvanas. Wailing Arrow now reveals around detonation area. So now when you fire Wailing Arrow, I guess it used to reveal around her, but I guess that's good. Oh, Tassadar, you'll play more. Archon no longer applies armor debuff while blinded. I mean, that makes sense. Splash no longer reveals target hit. This is actually pretty massive because the splash damage on Archon is pretty good. But I guess that's if you're like splashing over the wall or something. So stuff like this is going to be impactful if you're like hitting the wall and you want to see, because a lot of times you can use that to hit behind the wall. Like a lot of times, I would cast abilities to see what's behind the wall. So stuff like this is going to prevent that. Archon armor debuff is now removed by stasis. Feedback armor is now removed by stasis. Fix an issue that caused Oracle to not show in the death recap. Amulet will now reveal active. Alright. Now has a blocked visual, which is good. List is, this is a long list. We're almost done though. Because he is perfectly balanced. Apparently has no bugs either. The Lost Vikings. Hundu's Burning Olaf now reveals targets instead of the area around. So a lot of these changes again are going to reveal the target themselves and not the area around the target, which is I guess good. It's again, these changes are all about vision. It's a sabotage can no longer be applied while Eric is blinded. Nordic Attack Squad now shows in recap. Viking bribery stacks no longer visible on the scoreboard to other players. Oh, could you see them? Did Nubrak have bugs? Not other than the ones that he drops. I don't think so. Bullet spray now reveals targets hit. Fix an issue causing composition B and quantum spec to deal percent damage to non-heroes. Oh, this is actually pretty big because a lot of people would use the bomb on like bosses and buildings and stuff. So this is actually a pretty decent change. I didn't know this was a thing, but this is pretty substantial. Heavy-handed armor is now removed by stasis. So a lot of these, I guess there were a lot of abilities that weren't removed by stasis. If lock and loaded has been activated, then the floating text for completing the reload will display as a crit. That's good. Talent is, yeah. Well, Quantum Spike used to be good. Is that a health pack can no longer heal vehicles? I didn't know it could, but that's good. Locked and loaded no longer causes basic attacks to display as a crit. Ricochet will no longer reveal targets hit. Tracer rounds will still apply if taken. So Ricochet, so you have to have Tracer rounds to reveal. But Ricochet will no longer reveal targets when they splash to him. I mean, that's good. Again, all about vision. Telefrag no longer reduces the cooldown of recall while blinded. When Tracer completes a reload, it now displays floating text. Archangel Wrath now reveals target hit by explosion. Bound by Law no longer reveals Eldruin's Might while blinded. They're messing up for the rest of us. Alright. Now it's nerfed. Increases your win rate. Fix an issue that causes Elun's Chosen to heal for overkill damage. Interesting. Fix an issue that caused self-healing to not increase her self-healing. Fix an issue that caused Sentinel to be reset if hallucination is killed while revealed. Okay, so if, because I know you can reset your W, so I guess if you killed like a Nova hallucination, it would reset the W. I didn't know that, but that's actually pretty good. Or fix an issue except they spelled fixed wrong. Where market mending was not healing evading targets. Divine Storm now reveals targets hit instead of the area around. I mean, theoretically, Uther's standing in there, so it should still be the area around. Now reveals the area it affects. Holy Radiance now reveals enemies hit. Holy Radiance reveal update to match area of effect. Some Valyria changes. Reveal. Ambush now reveals a target for 2 seconds. Blade Fury, Cheap Shot, Eviscerate, all 2 seconds. Garrote, 2 seconds. Sinister Strike, 2 seconds. D-Storm isn't melee. Yeah, I was like, aren't you in the melee anyway so you see it? Varian. Fix an issue that caused Juggernaut to be capable of activating on-hit effects on invulnerable enemies. I mean, that's good. Fix an issue that caused Varian Victory Rush button to be grayed out. This was actually kind of annoying. I remember this. And that was always confusing for me. Not that I play Varian that much. Master at Arms now reveals target hit and area affected. White Mane Clemency no longer reveals the area around the healing target. I guess that's good for, I guess maybe it means revealed to the enemy, or maybe revealed to yourself. Divine Reckoning now reveals targets hit. Inquisition Shared Punishment now revealed the target for 2 seconds after expiring. Inquisition now reveals the target instead of the area around. Syrian Lash now reveals target hit. Final record, we ended 8-10. It was, we lost last game of the day, but it's all good. It was a very good stream. Zool Shackler no longer reveals the area it affects. Aegis of Light no longer reveals the area it affects. Avenging Wrath no longer reveals targets hit. Dauntless now has a block visual. Holy Wrath now consumes block charges. Righteous Hammer now reveals targets hit. Vindication now reveals targets hit. Explosive Barrier now reveals an area. Fixed an issue where defense shielding did not stack correctly. Splash Damage no longer reveals targets. I mean, that's I just vision. Cleave now reveals the area it affects, so that's good. Last but not least, Zul'jin Buzzsaw now reveals targets hit for 2 seconds. Grieving Though now reveals. Guillotine now reveals target hit. I guess this is really good because you used to just raw throw it out and not really know what happened if the target didn't die. So at least you could see how much damage you did, which could be useful for potential follow-up. They make D-Storm range? Maybe. Twin Cleave now reveals target hit. Wrong place, wrong time now reveals target hit. Alright, so, in conclusion, this is actually a pretty massive bug fix patch. So yeah, you know, again, what do I think about it? I mean, I think it's awesome. This is massive. It's a lot of icon changes. Obviously, there's some health bar related interface changes. The icon changes I'm curious about. So like my overall thought, and again, conspiracy theory. This is my overall thought. Are they putting the game on Steam? It's the patches on PTR right now. Like, why go through this much effort? And some people mentioned it's before BlizzCon, um, but and some people mentioned it's to make the game more aesthetically appealing for people coming over from League and Dota. That all of that makes sense. Again, I do understand copium, and I am very understanding of that coming out on Xbox. Maybe. But I mean, conspiracy theory. Are we going on Steam? But yeah, so very interesting changes. A lot of changes. A lot more. I mean, we've had 2, 3 bug fix patches already, and we have. This is by far the biggest one we've had. I thought the last one was the last one for a while. So are we done with these? Is there more coming? Only time will tell. But yeah. So anyway,